Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Your gifts are your ministry. Yeah, and I kind of started this with a post on my Deep Thought channel, a podcast on my Deep Thought channel where I was talking about gifts and people wasting their gifts. One thing, regardless of your spiritual path, regardless of how you choose to worship God, or for some people, goddess, or you know what, even people who don't believe in a greater force. Everyone is blessed with a gift. And those gifts are really your ministry. I'm going to tell a story. There's a gentleman in my neighborhood, right? There's a gentleman in my neighborhood. He's a good guy. He's like one of those guys. He would seem ordinary. He would seem ordinary to the person who's not astute about these things. And I mean, he just does regular stuff, works in a local grocery store, works in a local food place. I usually stop by the food place. It's a pretzel place to, get pretzels for my sons. He'll give us a free sample. And one thing I notice about him, he's that type who's friendly with everybody. Right? He's that type, but he's also the type that if a person's hurting, particularly if that person's kind of a street person, and when I say street person, like that thug person or that person that people kind of throw away, he's the type who will listen to him and they'll reach out to him, right? He's that type who could reach like some kid standing on the corner and they'll listen to him. And I told him that's his ministry. That's his ministry, to reach out to people, because he even reached out to me. Right, and because he said, he see me, I look like I was ready to kill somebody. Because people who see me normally, I usually got a mean look on my face. It's that, it's just me. I came out the womb with a mean look on my face because I'm always thinking about something. So my eyes will be scrunched up sometime. That little piece between the eyebrows will be scrunched up because I'm always had something on my mind, right? But he's all past that. But that was his ministry. Your gifts. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna hit y'all with something deep. As I said, I don't promote a specific spiritual path with these simulcasts or even on my Deep Thought channel. I don't, because their relationship to the Creator, or if they consciously don't have a relationship, that's their decision. Because my personal path is that, God's bigger than all of this and knows more than we do. That's my personal thing. So I don't judge anybody, right? But one thing I do say, the greatest way to worship or follow whatever path you do is to use the gifts that you were blessed with. Even if you're an atheist, you blessed with something, you can think. You have the ability to critically think, or you have the ability to make a decision. And that's a gift in itself. But that's the ultimate form of worship. So you get people, they in the churches every Sunday. They in the churches, they can sing. They're in the synagogues, they're in the temples, they're in the shrines. They're someplace on a hillside doing meditation. They're in a yoga studio. Technically, yoga is actually more of a spiritual path. Another conversation. All right. They're doing all of that. They do all the exercises, all of that. But then they don't do the one thing that I believe is the greatest expression of their connection to their Creator or their deity. And that is to exercise the gifts. Use the gifts that you are blessed with. And it's not always like sometimes people say gifts and they think, oh, that person's psychic or something like that. It's gifts to be able to have discernment in a situation. People can read a situation and diffuse it, or to bring peace to a situation. Sometimes people have a healing presence. It's like that middle child. I've noticed like middle childs in families. That's always a peace bringer or something, but that's a gift. The gift to cook something with love, that's a gift. That's a ministry in itself. I remember My son's great grandmother, she would make Sunday dinner for everybody, right? She would make Sunday dinner, but she wouldn't really eat. But she would just be happy to cook the food. That was her gift. She would have so much love in how she cooked food and how she took care of other people. That was her gift. That was who she was, right? That was her ministry. You know, a person's ministry could be reaching out to kids. Like I mentioned my friend, and that's the type of dude. You know, that's the type of dude. That kid who is hurting, he'd be the one to reach out to him and say, "I got you, son. What's on your mind?" That's a gift. You know, it's a gift to bring a smile to someone. That's a gift. You know, and I'm gonna tell you what. The type of person who can give someone tough love, that's a gift. Because you know what? Sometimes people need a hug. Sometimes they need a kick in the ass. And you have some people who can do that with love. They'll say, look, I'm kicking you up the ass, but I'm doing this with love. You need a swift kick. Sometimes you need that person. Sometimes people get mad at that blunt person. That person call it like it is. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's a gift. That's a gift because, you know, everybody can't be on light and happiness. Sometimes you need that. You need that person who can go and, like those places. I'm gonna give you an example of that, right? There was a book series written by L.A. Banks. It's called the Vampire Hunter series, right? And it was a deep series. She's an ancestor now. She's passed on transition a few years ago. Really miss her. Very down to earth. But she had a character in there who started off a bad guy but became a good guy. And this character was talking with someone, a spiritual type of person, you know, in the series, and was like, well, why'd you, you know, I'm doing all this good. Why did you let me put me in that position where I got into that dark life? Because this character at one point had been a vampire, right? And, you know, the spiritual character, you know, the older spiritual character said to him, say, look, you know, the light, we needed somebody on the inside. We needed somebody to go there. You know, but that's a gift, though. If somebody can go, if you're a diamond, you can go among glass and get cut, and not get cut. Shoot, that's a gift. I mean, you know, I've always said, if you want to find the greatest expression of spirituality, don't look for it in the church. Look for that older woman that lives in a very rundown neighborhood, but everybody can come to her for advice and warmth and love. Look for that person. Look for that kind of rough and tumble dude, like in the streets or something, but everybody respects him and he can keep the peace. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, they came into their gifts and things will be worse than what it is now. But that's their ministry. And, you know, like I said, sometimes people might look like they on the dirty side of things, the dark side. You got some people, you know what, you got some people in prisons, they have a gift. You know, you might have some people in there and, you know, you don't want anybody to be in there, but, you know, sometimes they help people. And I've talked about this before, and this is one of those subjects I'm going to stay on forever. Every single person has a gift. And if they really want to, you know what, it's easy to put on a suit, go to church, or, you know, go to the mosque, go to the shrine. But to really bring forth your gifts and to use them, because you're meant to use them. You're meant to do that. And it is not about money or anything. See, one problem is we live in a culture that is really about supporting the elite. It's like trying to make good workers instead of like really allowing people to be who they're going to be. And it's not just the elite. How many people see that maybe, you know, you have a lot of musicians and artists and everything, you know, they get well-meaning people who say, no, you need to get a regular job. That's a dream. But how much art are we missing because they didn't exercise their gifts that they were given? You know, if you want to express it, it has to be expressed. Yeah, I know, you know, sometimes people got to do what they do, but still do it. Still exercise that gift, whatever it is, a talent, a way of being with somebody, behavior. You know, it could be a gift being able to stay calm in bad situations. You always need that one person. All hell's breaking loose and you got that one person who's like, they just calm. You know, I worked with a woman like that. It was just like, she was just so calm. It was like, you know, I remember years ago, it was on a retail job. But she was the type, she was great at customer service. No matter what was going on with the customer or the workers, if you were around her, she just calmed you down. And she was a very humble person. You know, it could be a gift being able to raise children. I remember a woman I worked with, another woman I worked with, very humble. She was small of stature, very humble. Not, you know, she didn't have like degrees or anything like that. She was just a hard worker, but her gift was raising children. And her 4 children, they are outstanding human beings. You know, I met a woman, you know, she raised her kids, all professionals and they're doctors and attorneys. But talking with her, she come from a humble background. That's a gift, to be able to raise another human being. You know how powerful that is? So your gifts, would, however you choose to call the creator, your gifts are your ministry. And that's the greatest way to honor your creator. So I want everybody to keep rising and transforming. As always, keep rising, transforming. Peace and blessings.